so that anybody maybe who couldn't make the live can listen to this later. I just wanted to talk about the month that we have coming up. And I really want us to start to think about what would be the best content, not just for our challengers, but actually for ourselves.
Mm,
Because here's the deal, as coaches, it's easy to get in a rut and run these groups that are for other people's needs. But I think that sometimes we forget that, like, listen, you got to be a challenger too. And that means doing the gut check. And that means saying, well, what is it that I'm actually needing a coach for? What is it that, what is it that I'm struggling with currently that, I could maybe make marketable? So I think that right now is a good time as we're getting ready to go into another month. It's a good time to say, yes, it's important to serve and do what my customers need, but I also need to stop and say, hold on, what do I need? So that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight on the call. I also wanted to just get your ideas as to what is it that you were thinking would be a good theme for March. What I can tell you in all my years of coaching is that the ones that I enjoy the most are the ones that are often creative, new, and I'm into. If I just say, like, oh, okay, I can recycle like, granted, guys, I have years of challenge groups that I could just go in and hit reschedule. And some of you have been coaching long enough that you can do the same. Agree? And honestly, those are your worst groups because you're not as excited about them. So I really want you to reflect tonight. And I'm not asking for a commitment tonight when you get off this call, but I just want you to get off the call tonight and be like, okay, what is it that I want to be doing right now? What are the themes that get me excited? Am I struggling so bad with nutrition? Or, am I lacking in a routine? Or do I not know how to meal plan or whatever? But like, when you figure that out and then you start to market around that, that is going to be where you really do a good job of recruiting and getting people in who are on the same page as you, right? Because those are the people you want to be working with right now. And then just two, thinking about your season. If you just had a baby 3 months ago, you probably would rather work with all the postpartum moms than maybe someone in their 50s or 60s who's trying to lose weight through menopause. Okay. So know your season, know your market. March is a really weird time because some of your clients are living in areas that March is becoming summer. So while we're still in sweaters, they're starting to wear shorts and bathing suits, and they are starting to truly care about summer fashion. Whereas I live in Pennsylvania, so I don't need to wear a bathing suit for several months now. So for me, I don't need to care as much. Whereas those of you who might be in Florida or Texas or whatnot, you're getting ready to wear a bathing suit. So you might be thinking more about really leaning out. So anyways, with that being said, I really wanted to take a second tonight on the call and just hear from you guys. What are you currently struggling with the most? And I know it's not always great. Like in business, I was always in leadership, I was taught, don't talk about the negatives, but like, what are your negatives right now? Like, what is it? And maybe, I guess, I'll break the ice and I'll share mine. How about that? I'll share mine. And then when I'm done, you guys can share yours as far as what you're struggling with. Because I think if we start to write that down and we pay attention, that's how we can create groups that are really based on needs versus just a generic challenge group that isn't necessarily going to light you up. Have you guys done that before where you just ran a challenge group and it was not on what you were dealing with right now or into, and you were just like, I hate this group? Have you had that happen? Raise your hand. Where you're like, I'm just checking boxes, I'm checking in, but I'm not feeling it. Whereas if you do one that you're into, you're lit up. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I'm a storyteller. So we decided to change Gracie's bedroom last year. It was in the spring. Melissa, whenever we went to Bedford, that it was literally like when Melissa and I were at Bedford Springs, Gracie was getting her big girl bed. And I was like, this, and my daughter, if you don't know her, she's just turned 3 in May. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. She's going to love it. And she loved it for like a minute. And she was my best sleeper out of all my kids. And she was like, this is so awesome because now I can get out of bed and I could go to mom's room. And mom had this really badass established morning routine, right? I loved my mornings. I craved them. They were mine for years. My neighbor would come over. We'd work out. I kicked ass, right? Like 5:30 in the morning, I was already sweating. I was having my coffee on the deck in the summertime by 6. Like, I was a boss at it. And I'm not afraid to say that because I was proud of it. But then Grace happened, and she has totally wreaked havoc on my morning routine. And so she now sleeps with me in my bed with my husband and I. She prefers her total body to be glued to mine. Like if she's not actually glued on, she's not satisfied. If you sleep this way, she sleeps this way. So her toes are best placed on my lips or in my mouth. That's how she likes to sleep. So anyways, she has this radar on her. In fact, she probably may get her radar turned on because I'm not in there right now. And she knows when mom is not in the room. And so guess what that means? If I am in the basement working out at 5:30 in the morning, guess who starts looking for me? Mommy, where's mommy? And then she's crying and then she's up for the day. And it's like, shit, you have wreaked havoc on my mornings. I love her dearly, but she's trashed my mornings. And so I am in this season for the last few months where it's like, I can't, and that sounds like an excuse, right? And my challengers would say that. And I'm like, oh, you can get up. But now I'm like, no, some of them can't because their toddlers chasing them to the basement. So that is my problem right now. But I'm going to be the solution. So tonight I talked to Grace and I said, Grace, tomorrow morning, if you can't find mommy, she's in the basement. You should just stay in bed and look for daddy. Okay, daddy will get you your juice or your snack or whatever you need. Okay. And that's it. And my neighbor, who I like to work out with, who I have had to put on the back burner because of Grace, I said, see you tomorrow at 6. So it's not 5:30, it's 6, but she's coming over and I'm gonna do the best I can. But that's my season right now. And that's me being very honest. And I'm going to be honest with my followers on social media. And I have a feeling there are other followers who have a toddler whose toes are in their mouth. And they get what I mean when I say I can't leave the bed because she knows I'm gone. So that is my problem right now. And I'm hoping to be my solution. So if I were talking about my March and what I needed my group to be focused on, or if I were following a coach and she marketed a challenge group that said it was going to be like, take back your mornings, right? Master your March, master your morning routines in the month of March. I would be like, hi, I'd like a ticket to your show because I need to be in your group. So anyways, that's where I stand. I'm going to be quiet now. Amy is the first on my screen, so I'm going to let Amy go. So Amy, tell us your story. What are you struggling with?
First of all, I've been there. My 8-year-old still, when I leave the room, she's like, where's mommy? And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't deal.
It's like a radar.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So mine is kind of similar to yours, only ever since the pandemic hit, my husband and I have not been sleeping. Like our sleep patterns have been so off.
Okay.
And at first I was waking up between like 1 and 3 every morning. And then it went to like, we just went in these different like rotations of like, I wasn't sleeping, then he wasn't sleeping. And now we're back to him not sleeping. And so when my alarm goes off at 4:30, because I still work full time, but I work from home, but I try to get up at 4:30 to get my workout in. He's like, well, I'm getting up at like 2. And then when your alarm goes off at 4:30, then I'm just falling back asleep. And so I've been shutting my alarm off, trying not to disrupt him.
And it's ruining
like,
your morning.
Yes. And I'm like, now my morning is ruined. And if I don't work out in the morning, I don't work out. I just don't.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I need to get my mornings back on track, but I don't know how.
Isn't it funny how like even different seasons, I mean, you have an 8-year-old, you don't have a 3-year-old, but you're like, my mornings got hijacked by someone else. It's crazy how that happens. And you have to step over the line and say like, I've got to be selfish and this has to happen for me. I'm sorry. You're going to have to hear the alarm, right? Mm-hmm. So would you say that's your biggest struggle right now is just getting your day started, your mornings?
I would say that's the biggest. Over Valentine's Day, I know the sweets really got me. And so I've been trying to get them out of the house and not eat them anymore. Yeah, but
I don't think
the mornings have been like the ongoing struggle, trying to figure out like our new routine and like how we're going to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm writing this all down because I think it's so valuable to hear from you. So Valentine's Day sweets, because we're like, what, a week out from Valentine's Day, right? So it's all still in the pantry. Mm-hmm. That's how our house is too. I keep finding Gracie in corners and she's just got wrappers all around her. And I'm like, what are you doing? She literally looks at me, she's like, I'm sorry. Before I even like say, what are you eating? She says she's sorry. So maybe we need to purge tomorrow. Amy, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Melissa, you're on my screen. No, Mandy's on my screen next. Mandy, you want to go next?
Sure.
How are you doing? It's good to see your face.
Yeah, you guys too. I haven't been able to make a lot of the calls, so I'm excited that I can jump on here tonight.
Yeah.
I think it just overall balance has been my struggle the past, especially few weeks. About 2 weeks ago, I don't have any kids, and I went through a divorce this summer, so I'm doing my own thing, and I have a boyfriend, and trying to balance a new relationship, and my oldest kitty was diagnosed with a pretty big mass, and so I'm facing some end of life stuff with her, so it's been a whole lot of medication and trips to the vets and everything else, so my routine has just been totally wonked. It's messed with my meal prep and my plan and everything else, and so I think just really trying to get back on that routine, especially in the morning. If I can get my mornings going, it usually sets everything else up. So
what time do you have to get up to start your day? Like, for you to be to work on time and be able to have said you've exercised and ate breakfast, what time do you have to be up?
Like 5:15.
5:15 for you.
Yeah.
Amy, you said you were what, 4:30?
I'm 4:30, but I'm an hour before you guys because I'm St. Louis.
Ooh. So you're like our 3:30.
Oh,
no, 5:30 for you guys.
Okay.
oof.
Oh. Mandy, are you typically a morning workout girl?
Yeah. Yeah, if I wait until after work, it doesn't happen.
Do you find you don't do it if you go to work and you come home? Do you find you're like, I'm not doing it? Or do you
I really have to convince myself to do it. I have done it the past couple of weeks. I've done my best to do them in the afternoons, but I am really better off if I do it first thing in the morning.
I hear that from everyone. It feels like there are the very few challengers who are like, I love nighttime workouts, but most people are like, if I don't do it in the morning, I just don't have it.
Yeah. Nope.
I feel ya. All the energy's gone.
I know.
Mandy, are you in the middle of a program right now, or did you start something new? What are you doing?
I'm in the middle of 9-week Control Freak.
How many weeks in are you?
Week 5.
Love it. Not your favorite.
Love it.
Love it.
Yep. It's my first program with Autumn. I haven't done any of Autumn's stuff yet. So I jumped in with Megan's stuff. I started with Jericho's. So this is a first for me with Autumn. I really like it so far.
I'm glad you like it. And so you're doing the regular one then if you're on week 5. You're not doing off the wall.
Mm-mm.
Cool. Good. Amy, what are you doing right now? Remind me.
I'm doing a combo of 21-day fix and MBF.
So you're following like a hybrid one?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing off the wall next. I haven't decided.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow. That's what I'm starting with the neighbor lady. Cool. Okay. Melissa, what about you? What are you struggling with?
I am going to get on the early morning bandwagon with you guys because ever since like Corona, and then it was summer, and then we're homeschooling, and it's just like a nightmare. And I'm just like a night owl. Like, it's just easier for me to stay up at night. And when the kids go to bed, like, I know they're gonna be in bed for a while. The mornings are tricky. You never know who's gonna get up. And I'm in the same boat with you. Like, Jack gets up every single night still, and I'm either in his bed or he's in my bed, and you gotta like sneak out, or like your arm is stuck. Like, I get it. I'm still there. Like, he's 4. It's ridiculous. So the early morning thing, because even, I don't know, like, even if they go to school, like, I hate like getting them to school and then coming home and working out. Like, I just like it done before the kids even get up, because then you can just get on with everything else. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, because if you do that, it's 10 or 11 before you have gotten anything done, and then you're like, shit, they're coming home soon.
I know. I'm like, it's lunchtime. I'm still sweaty. Did I brush my teeth? Like, I don't even.
Yeah.
It's so I want to do the early morning thing. Last week I did pretty good getting up at 6.
Okay.
So
what time were you getting your workout in then? Like 6:15, 6:30?
Yeah. I have to start no later than 6:30.
Yes. Otherwise, you're going to miss your kids' morning routine, right?
Right. 6 is good for me. Like, I'll get up, I'll get my energized, I'll like read a little bit, wake up a little bit, wash my face, and then I'm comfortable with a 6:30 workout.
Let me ask you this. Do any of you guys do your like PD, journaling, meditation, any of that kind of stuff before? So like, say you're going to shoot for a 6 a.m. workout. Are you spending that time sleeping, or are you actually up like doing something? Anybody? Like, I mean, that's like goals. When I think of like a morning routine, that is like, damn, that's goals.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody doing it already?
I usually work out first thing because I'm like, if I get it done, it's done. And that's like the biggest check off for the day.
A race against the clock, right?
I can always sit down and read before bed or something like that. But my
Yeah.
workout is like,
It
I
has
have
to
to get it
happen
done.
then. Oh yeah.
Something else I wanted to add, I've been trying to do better with my nutrition. Now, throughout 9-week Control Freak, I'm really proud of myself. I've actually made a fresh meal plan every single week. And I like that because my people like that. Like they expect to see me talk about, like in my stories, I share like, here's what I do, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And every Friday I do a Foodie Friday email, and I've been including my meal plan too. But I think a lot of people struggle with nutrition. I think that's something easy for us to do to keep ourselves accountable and to help other people, is to share what we're eating. Because I always wanted to know. And the very first challenge group I was ever in, Sarah was like so freaking pregnant, and she made a post about a nutrition group. And I sent her a message and I was like, I need in your group.
Yeah.
Please let me in your group. And I liked that one because you shared a lot about nutrition, even if it was just like I'll have to share one to show you guys, but it was like a pre-made picture, like with spinach on it. And it showed like the benefits of eating spinach, like silly stuff like that, but I learned so much.
I still remember to this day, Melissa, that group, and really putting effort in on my part. Like I literally like did my homework. Like I would get online and be like, okay, what are all the benefits of spinach? Or, what are the different types of greens? Because I think everyone grew up on iceberg, but no one really knows about kale or arugula or whatever else that might be out there. So I think you're totally right. Those newbies to nutrition, we have to remember they don't know what we know. They don't know how to read labels like we do. They don't know the value of whatever. So I think you're totally right. And see, when I was like toying with March of like, what do I need right now? Because again, I think that when you look at what you need and you make a group around it, you become a better coach and your content is better. And so Melissa, for what you were saying about the food, I was like, oh, it'd be so fun as if, each week it was like fruit feature, and we featured like fun fruits and fun different like fruit salsa or like fruit and whatever. And then the next week was like fun veggies or fun way to like, I remember the first time I used a zucchini spiralizer, I was like, I am so healthy, right? Like, because I didn't know how the hell to eat zucchini as a noodle, or spaghetti squash. Like, who remembers the first time they made a spaghetti squash where you're like, do I freaking break this thing open on the counter? It was so hard. Like I'm smashing it with a knife. I'm microwaving. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? But I just remember like being a baby at nutrition and not knowing. And so I think we have to remember that some of them are in that place where, I look at my mom. She's always like, is this diet iced tea okay? Because it says that it doesn't have any sugar in it. I'm like, but Mom, it has chemicals in it. Like, people just think because it says diet, it's great, have it. But anyways, so I even thought about in March, I needed the morning stuff, right? For me, I need the morning routine. I need to spend the month of March mastering my mornings for me. And sure, I'll help and pull along all those people who might be drowning in the trenches with me of a crappy morning routine. But I also need to remember someone needs to learn how to roast asparagus, and someone has no idea how to prep kale or whatever. And so, maybe in the month of March, we look at mornings and we look at maybe each week is like, maybe it's fruits, maybe it's veggies, maybe it's different ways to prep protein. There's some really awesome healthy marinades out there and seasonings and just little stuff. Like, who knew that Mrs. Dash was really great, right? I grew up on Hamburger Helper and crap like that. Like, that's how I season my food. So anyways, I think if we spent some time in March sharing not just like a routine, but also some beginner level nutrition stuff where like you made it a challenge to teach yourself something new. Like you're like, okay, what do I not know about nutritional benefits from certain foods? And we make it really educational. Now, let's go back. Melissa, can I ask, what week are you on for 9-week Control Freak?
Okay, this week, like tomorrow, I will start week 8.
Okay.
So I have 2 weeks left. And I was toying around with making my own hybrid between lift and bar because I mean, 9-week control freak is cool, but like I mean, I hate to even say it, but my heart's not 100% there. And lift and bar have my heart, all of it. So I was going to make my own hybrid, and I've been talking in my stories about booty and biceps, and I've had a lot of engagement on that. So I might do that next.
So you might follow that calendar. So that would put you, what, the second week of March?
Can I draw?
Yeah, the first week of March will be my last week of 9-week control break. So I would start a new program like Monday the 8th.
Okay. And then what about, so as far as dates go, and I want to talk, Shannon, although Shannon's at work and she's got her camera off, so
She is at work. She's a rock star.
She probably doesn't want to be like, oh, hey, these are the things I'm struggling with. So Shannon, no, that's not Athena. These are my friends. Shannon, if you're allowed to talk to us and you want to share with us about like what we can help you with this month, we'd love to hear it, but we also totally get your hustle. So.
I just need help with staying consistent. You know, I've had health issues just recently, and it's just staying consistent, staying with it. I've been doing really good on my shakes though. My boyfriend has started getting into the shakes, so I make him a shake every day, so we're starting to pick up there. It's just a lot of it is just staying on track, staying accountable.
Where are you right now as far as workouts? Are you doing 9-week control freak?
I'm attempting to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my boyfriend's son moved in with us, so now I'm trying to find a new space to work out, and I have a small 2-bedroom apartment because he sleeps in my living room.
So you don't have a Grace putting their toes in your mouth, but you have a son that you're walking around the living room, huh?
Oh.
What are you?
My day normally starts at 3 o'clock in the morning.
At 3. Are you Eastern Standard?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So is it the morning for you for the workouts, or is it night?
Morning, 3 a.m.
You are
Dang.
I'm happy to do that. Yeah, I'll give her to you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna give Grace to Kevin. She may scream. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, jump. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, I promise. Soon. Go back upstairs. See, she smelled that I was gone. She knew it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here is my question for you guys. When you look at March, so we have our February group that'll wrap up, but then March is kind of like a longer month. Like we have we almost have like an extra week in March, don't we? I feel like it's 5. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is. It's like 5. So here's my thoughts. What if we left? So February group's gonna end 28th, right? I think whatever the last day of February is. It will end there. So we could start on the 8th. And the reason why I say that is for 2 reasons. Number 1, it would give you the first week of March off. And I know that some of you are like, no, I love like challenge groups. And I'm like, okay, yes. But I also know that sometimes some of you guys need a break. And it is a lot of work to check in and to carry the weight of all your challengers constantly. And I think that you have to say to yourself, like, have I given myself a week to truly focus on me and my problems or my needs? And if you haven't, then it's okay to build in a break. Like, how many of you can honestly say you have taken off a week from worrying about your challengers' problems and just focused on your own? How many of you have done that lately? Amy's like, no. You guys are shaking your heads like, no. Okay. You are not a bad coach if you have 1 week where there's not a challenge group. You're not a bad coach, especially if you put it out there and say to your challengers on February 28th or whatever, this group's going to wrap up and we'll see each other in 1 week. They can go a week without you. I know you don't think they can. They totally can. And sometimes it's just what they need. They need a week off. They need a week to refocus. Some of them don't. Some of them are going to say, but what am I going to do without you for a week? And you're going to be like, girl, you'll figure it out. And then you'll know how much you miss me, right? So anyways, I'm telling you this for 2 reasons. 1, I want you to have a break. So the first week of March, I think you should give yourself a vacation and not have a challenge group. And some coaches would argue that that's not the best thing to say for customers, but like your customers love and respect you. And I think if you approach it as I'm giving myself 1 week to truly focus on my own self so that I can fill your cup all of March. So that is totally up to you. What we can do is we can set the group. If you're like, Sarah, I really want my clients to have a place to check in. So we changed the date on the February group till the 5th or the 6th or whatever. And so we can do that. And we can say to them, you are welcome to check in here, but I'm actually not going to be checking in that week. And there won't be new content that week, but this will be a space if you are like, I have to track it. My thoughts were that we started it on Monday the 8th. Because that will give you basically a month, will give you March. But then that means that during that first week of March, you can hustle and you can recruit and you can totally focus on hitting Success Club. Now, say you get someone who wants to join on the 11th or 12th, totally okay. We just started. You're not missing out on much. But I feel like if we have our group ending right at the end of February and then you jump into a group March 1st, did you truly have enough time to market it? Whereas if you focus all of this week and then all of the first week of March on getting your challengers, I think you're going to be okay and feel like I have a basis. So what are your thoughts? Do you like that idea of giving yourself a week off, or is this giving you total anxiety? Talk to me.
A week off gives me anxiety, but I like starting a week or two in, because I feel like this month we started right away and I was like, oh crap, like anyone I invited or got signed up in January, like that's January, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like the idea of starting a week into March.
Yeah.
Giving time to get new customers for March. You know what I mean?
Would you prefer to have the group open and just kind of give them the heads up and say, if you want to track till, like, keep February open and say, if you want to track, by all means, it's here. But as far as like the new content, you're not going to see anyone posting new till the 8th. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think a lot of girls like it to check in. So if we just tell them like, we're just going to have like a hang week, you know, check in if you want, just don't expect material until next week.
Yeah.
That's
Girls,
okay.
what are your thoughts on that? Like anxiety giving you that you're taking a week off, or do you feel like you actually might need it?
I think it's good.
You're ready for it?
So too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to refocus on
On you.
getting my routine down.
Yes. Master Mandy's habits. You ever feel that way? You're like, I am, like when you step back and think about all your clients and like, you're like worried about, oh, this person and this person, you're like, I'm carrying so many people's problems on my shoulders. It's like such a responsibility. It's a cool responsibility, but like you have to focus on you too. And sometimes it means you got to say, I just need a week to like, do my thing. Are we cool with the idea of potentially looking at making March like a morning thing? Or do we want to go in a different direction?
I love that.
I think it would be great.
Okay. So this is one that like, I feel like, oh, we're running out of time. Well, we have 10 minutes, so hold on. Sorry, it's giving me the warning. I'll try to wrap it up. Are we, some people do the morning routines where they actually work out on Zoom. And they're not really like, they're just on a Zoom call basically, but there are other flesh bodies on the Zoom call. Is that something that you guys have done? Liked? I never have done it because I just like my mornings to myself, but like, do we need to do that? Do you want that? Do you think our challengers want that? What are your thoughts?
I've never done it. I know people who do it and they like it, but I've never done it myself.
I've seen a couple other people, the coach that I was with before Kate does it with her groups, and they always have a really good turnout. I mean, they have 20 or 25 people that's their accountability in the morning.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. So, yeah. I mean, what we could do is we could offer to that group. So like the 8th through we'll say the 8th through, I guess basically like the weekend of Easter, which we wouldn't do at Easter weekend. We could say like Monday through Friday, right? So that you didn't have to necessarily, because I know some of you don't want to work out at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday. We could say, listen, Monday through Friday, we're going to have a Zoom link that's open if you need a body to check in with. And we could that would give us a chance and to be accountable, because it's like, oh shoot, I have to be on this call because there could be someone on this call, right? I will tell you too, like, I don't know who you have around you in your life as far as neighbors or friends go, but my best way to be accountable is when I ask my neighbors to come work out with me, because I know that there's someone on the doorstep at 5:30 in the morning. And if I just roll over, she's standing out in the cold because my lazy ass couldn't put my workout clothes on, right? Like that is the best. So if you have anyone that you do really enjoy their company, your neighbor, your friend, whatever, even your spouse, I find that that is a powerful piece of accountability. So anyways, what we could do is we could have that link. Do you like the idea of Monday through Friday, or do you think we should have it 7 days a week?
I would-
I think Monday through Friday is good. That way, if we need an hour or two sleep on the weekend.
Okay. The pressure is not on, right? Okay. So far, I like to kind of recap. So we're looking at the 8th through, we'll let it run until Easter Sunday, which is the 4th. So we'll let it run to the 4th of April. I would say you shouldn't expect a ton of content Good Friday to Easter. You're not going to see your challengers. They're going to, maybe I'm wrong, but in all the years I've been coaching, I don't tend to see anyone much that weekend. It's just a super busy weekend. So as far as content goes, we would be looking at the 8th through basically Friday, April 2nd. We could do the Zoom links. Do we want to say that what time do you want the Zoom link to go live? 5:30 or 6?
Good with either.
You're gonna
Yeah.
do that. So for me this month, I'm gonna do 6 a.m. workouts. My goal is that 5:15 I get up, I get dressed, I come down to my office, and I would love to be able to do a little bit of like PD and maybe like some journaling or to-do list, so that by 6 I could start working out with my neighbor. That is like ideal. I don't know if it'll happen, but that's the goal. So I'll be working out at 6. I could have the link then. She's going to be on my doorstep, so I have to work out at 6 this month, or she's going to have a pissed off neighbor.
I'm gonna still be doing it at 5:30. But I'm
Yeah.
happy
What
to
if we
check
had
in at
two?
the end.
Like, what if we had a 5:30 crew and a 6 crew? Just like an ongoing, like, Mandy has the link for the 5:30, I have the link for the 6, we load it. And there will be days where you're like, I'm working out over here by myself, no one's on my Zoom call, like, I feel like a loser. But that's okay, because you got up, right? So I've done it a few times, and there were a couple times where I'm like, no one's on this call, but that's okay, because I'm here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so as far as content goes, we would have to come up with something. And same with, we mentioned like the veggie kind of stuff. We could do like share like certain foods and stuff. So you could kind of look at the month and say, okay, I would love to do some content on the morning routine, or I would love to do some content on nutrition. And you can kind of pick, and then we'll have like a Google Doc, and you can sign up for what you feel like is best. Because again, it's not fun if you're not into it. So if you're feeling it, if you're vibing on veggies, please help us with that. And if you're like, no, I'm going to do chakra and like candles and meditate in the morning, please give us your vibes, because we need them. Deal? Yeah. What else? Anything? I'm like praying that we still have Summit, but I'm so like, I don't know if we will. I want to see you girls. I hate that we're not seeing each other.
I know, it sucks.
Give me some interaction. All right. Well, I need you to go because I need to be respectful of your time, and I have to go get toes put in my mouth and snuggle my toddler. Sound like a plan? Yeah. I will put the Google Doc up tomorrow in the team page with some sign up stuff. I will create the group by Tuesday and start to work on some marketing stuff this week. If you guys make any like IG story slides or anything, share them in the team page. That way we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then we will also put in the group like towards like this week, towards the end, just saying like, hey, heads up, the group will be open, but we won't be here. We'll be here, but we won't be here. Okay? Okay. I love you girls. Thanks for getting on the call.
Thanks for hosting.
All right. I'll see you soon. Good night. Bye.
Good night, guys.